What's up guys, it's Mackenzie Dancer back here again with another YouTube video. So in today's video, I'm going to demonstrate a few of the steps that you would do at a ballet bar. So let's just get right into it. So normally at a ballet bar, you start with pliés. And with the plié, so we're going to start in first position. You usually start on the right side, so you have your left down on the bar. And plié is where you bend your knees. Plié means to bend, and you bend your knees. This is called a demi-plié. Now, usually in a combination, you do 2 demi-pliés with a nice port bras, and then you do what's called a grand plié. So you go to demi-plié, and the grand plié is where you take your heels off the floor, and now you don't want to go so far that you're like this. You want to make sure that your heels only come off the floor a little bit, and then you come up. And now you usually do this in first position, and you also do it in second position. Now second position is different. You do not take your heels off the floor grand plié, so you do usually do 2 demi-pliés. And now grand plié, you would go as far as you would in first position, but you don't take your heels off the floor. So it's kind of like a second lunge, kind of. And then you come up. And now fourth position is the same. You only take your heels off the floor just a little bit in grand plié. And then fifth position is also the same. Now you may have noticed that I didn't say third position because I usually, as ballerinas, we don't usually do pliés in third position. So those are pliés, that's the first combination at the bar. So now that we've just done pliés, now we're going to a tendu. Now in tendu, you go from your first position, or really any position, and you take your foot, and you're going to slide it across the floor, and then you're going to go to half point. So see how I'm not completely pointing my foot, and then you completely point your foot. So in this position, you want to make sure that your heel stays turned out because you don't want to go turned in like this. So imagine that you have a circle like a clock. You want to make sure that you're drawing a straight line from your heel all the way to what would be 12 o'clock. So you want to keep your heel turned out and also your foot. Now you want to make sure that you don't point your foot so hard that you start to sickle. So tendu is just it's like a little stretch of the foot. So you just take your foot and point it like so. And now you can do this front or side. Now to the back, it's a little different because your leg naturally wants to turn in. So what my teachers have told me to do is, so imagine that your toe is a fan, like a fan, like that. You want to bring your foot out like a fan, like this, and then just keep your big toe on the floor. You don't want to put any of your other toes on the floor because that doesn't make a pretty line. So here, I'll just go back to the wall. So you want to make sure that you're still keeping your leg turned out, but your leg is going to feel turned in, but it is really turned out. It's just the position. So this is arabesque. Okay, so now we're going to do dégagés. Dégagé is just like tendu, only, so we're in our tendu. Dégagé is where you just lift off the floor about 45 degrees. Now, that can also be translated into 3 to 4 inches off the floor. So when you do it fast, you're going through your first position, through tendu off the floor, just like this. Ready? Just like that. And sometimes when they're really fast, you don't really have time to go through your tendu, so you kind of just, you just go right through. So first you start with pliés, then you do tendus, then dégagé. So now we're going to do rond de jambe. Now, keeping our clock in mind, the circle around you, You usually do rond de jambe in 5th position. So you start with your leg in tendu, and it's like you're drawing a half circle. So you're going to take your toe and make sure your toe stays on the floor, and you're just going to draw a little half circle with your toe all the way around. And then to come in, you just take your foot, go to half point, and bring your toe in with your heel still turned out. And then you do it again. So you go to tendu, go to the front, to the side, to the back, and to first. And now we do this both forward and reverse. So to reverse it, we do back, side, front. Now when you're going back, side, front, you want to make sure that you don't bring your leg to the side and it's turned in. You want to make sure that your leg continues to turn out all the way to the front, and then you come back in. So that is rond de jambe. Now I'm going to show you another step. It's called fondue. Now I know what you're all thinking. Not fondue like the food. So fondue, so you start in 5th position and go to what is called a coupe position. So coupe is where you take your foot, point your foot, and take your toe and put it about right here on your ankle, like this. This is called coupe. So in fondue, you go from 5th, and what you're going to do is it's kind of like a plie, so like this, but only you scoop your foot. So this is a fondue. I will just demonstrate it. So this is a fondue. It's where you're taking your front leg and bending it while your second leg is still plieing. So this is a fondue. And depending on which direction you're going in, I'll just go front. So this is fondue to the front. And you want to make sure that both knees are straightening at the same time. Now, fondues are not just 45 degrees. Sometimes you can go 90, sometimes you can go higher. Like there's some people that can take their leg and put it right in front of their nose. So, and now to the back, it's a little different. Like that fan I was talking about in our tendu, you want to do the same thing. You want to do the same thing in fondue. So you go fondue with your legs both bent, and then you go to your arabesque, keeping your knees straightened at the same time, and then you come in. And then we're going to do it again, fondue. And second is a little bit harder because you have to straighten your leg at the same time. So fondue to second, and you want to make sure that your leg is turned out, your foot is pointed, because if you turn it in, that's not such a pretty line, so you have to keep it turned out. So after fondue, we're going to do a step called frappe. Now frappe means to strike. So we're going to go to our coupe position. And what you're going to do, where your toe is, you're just going to take your heel and put it right where your toe was, flexing it. I know, it seems weird, but you'll get used to it. So usually to prepare for a frappe combination, you tendu to second and take your heel and put it just right under your calf. So the biggest part of your calf, you just do it a little bit lower, like this. And so what you're going to do is you're going to strike the floor. So to slowly start, you're just going to take your foot, put it down, and brush your foot off the floor, kind of like a dégagé. But the striking part, if you listen, just like that. So going slowly, flex, half point, brush, flex, half point, brush. Now, you want to make sure that you don't hit the floor so hard, like, because otherwise you'll bruise this part of your foot. So that is frappe, and also frappe is done on releve. So you start in your coupe position, and instead of striking the floor, you just go out. See, it still has the action of frappe, which is quick. It's just on releve. So now we're moving on to grand battement. So after you've done your pliés, your tendus, dégagés, rond de jambes, fondus, frappe, then you do grand battement. Now grand battement is basically a kick. So I'm going to show you. So just like in our dégagé, we lift our foot off the floor. You want to go through that same position with your leg turned out, body lifted, and you're just going to kick your leg up and to fifth. Now you want to make sure that you're not kicking so much that your upper body, do you see what I just did, is not going like that. You want to keep your body still and just lift your leg to the side. Now to the back, you want to make sure that your body doesn't fall forward. So just think of your back lifting and it will stay lifted. Because if you don't lift your back, you're just gonna, that's not such a pretty position. All right guys, there you have it. There is a couple positions and couple steps that you do at the barre. Now this was just a basic barre. This wasn't like a complicated advanced barre. So I hope this video helped, and make sure to like this video and subscribe, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.